I'm George Forbes. I moved to Aiken County in 1980, bought a house, and was working at was then the Medical College of Georgia. And after retiring from there, I spent a lot of time sitting around the house. My wife suggested that I might want to go and find something to do. So I had gone down to the Arts and Heritage Center once before, and they had an exhibit then on Hamburg. This is the first Hamburg exhibit they had put up. And I met with the director down there and subsequently became a volunteer. At the time, I knew nothing about the history of North Augusta, except what I had heard secondhand from people. One of the first stories I heard about North Augusta, when I asked someone about the monument downtown, on the Meriwether Monument, they told me a story that they had been told by their parents, who had been told the story by their parents, and so on and so on. Years later, as I began volunteering, people would come in and they quite often would ask about Hamburg and the beginnings of Hamburg and failure of Hamburg and things like that. And so I couldn't answer their questions except to tell them what I had been told. And found out that I was completely misled. Not necessarily misled, but I think a lot of people who came in and they would tell what they knew about Hamburg, what they would know about the beginnings of North Augusta. And a lot of it had been twisted a little bit, as things do. And I'm not going to tell someone that their grandmother is a liar, but things change over the years in people's attitudes, their prejudices are entered into everything they say. And so in search for what actually happened in Hamburg, I began looking into starting with the newspaper reports and things like that. And the more I dug, the more I found out things are not always black and white. There's always a gray area. And that sort of started my interest in Aiken County and in North Augusta. Similar thing happened whenever people would ask about the founding of North Augusta. The only thing I knew about it was what I had read in Gene McDaniel's book about James U. Jackson. And looking at that, it seemed like things happened in a very short period of time. And again, I started trying to find out a little more about it because I was curious about how someone could just start a town. And it seemed that he had the idea, they bought some property, they started building, and that was it, all in a period of a decade.
Wow.
It didn't happen quite that way.